All right, everyone. So here we have the Galaxy Z Fold 6 to unbox today. I did pre-order this from Samsung's website, and as you can see, I ordered the pink version in 512 since they were offering the free storage upgrade when pre-ordering. So let's get this unboxed and set up. Okay, so right away, I noticed how the camera rings just kind of have like this black, I guess, casing around it, whereas we take a look at the previous one, the camera housing is just a little bit different. So definitely a visual difference, but nothing too crazy there. So I really do like this subtle pink color. I think pink is going to be very popular. And as you've probably already seen, definitely sharp corners. Let's hold it up next to the Z Fold 5. You can see we have the rounded off corners here, sharper corners there. Kind of reminds you of the S24 Ultra with the sharp edges. But they both feel really light. I don't know the weights off the top of my head. If I find them, I'll put them on the screen. But overall, I would say both of them are fairly light in the hand. Okay, so we'll get that. Let's take a quick look of what's inside the box, which usually isn't much. We have our quick start guide, USB-C to USB-C cable, and then our SIM ejection tool. So basically the same thing you see year over year. Obviously we don't have a charging brick anymore, but we at least get the cable. So I am going to set it up to my Z Fold 5 to get everything transferred over. So the sides, we have a matte finish, which actually feels nice. They are flat edges, so we get the flat edges, sharp corner. But I do like that matte feeling, it feels less slick. Whereas on the Z Fold 5, we have this shiny finish. Didn't love it. I mean, it's flat, but definitely not as flat as the Z Fold 6. Just like any other shiny finish, it is a fingerprint magnet. But I did mostly have a case on this, so it wasn't too big of a concern. But I definitely like this finish better. Okay, so I'm gonna use Smart Switch to get everything transferred over. I normally use a wireless connection. So there we go. We have both of the phones connected to each other. We're gonna let it do its thing. So that's still transferring stuff, but I did get this screen protector for the Z Fold 6. It's the anti-reflecting film. So I'm actually going to try and install that now while it's transferring everything. So let's get this installed. It looks like we have two of them in there, so that's great. Hopefully I can just apply the first one successfully, and then I have an extra for later in the future if it starts wearing down. Okay, so one will peel this off. All right, there we go. Pretty simple. Okay, can we appreciate that anti-reflective screen protector though? That is like magic. And this is Samsung's screen protector, so you can purchase it from their website. Put a link down in the description if you want to get it. But look, that's actually really neat. Okay, we love to see that. But let's go ahead and go through some specs of the Z Fold 6. And not much has changed from the Z Fold 5. So the battery is a 4400 milliamp hour battery, unchanged. So we're likely to see the same amount of battery life that we did on the Z Fold 5. We do have the Snapdragon 8 Gen 3 processor for Galaxy. This is the same processor that we have in the S24 series. You may potentially see a little bit better battery life just because of the efficient processor, but at a minimum, I would say battery life should be relatively the same. RAM is also unchanged. We have 12 gigabytes, which is actually, still pretty good. For the external display, we did go from a 6.2 dynamic AMOLED display to a 6.3. So slightly bigger. So let's take a look here. We also, it looks like, I'd confirm that the bezels look smaller, which contributes to that bigger screen. I don't know if you can tell. Definitely does look wider. I mean, it's not a drastic change, but I do appreciate that we are slightly getting wider on the front screen, which hopefully makes it a little bit more usable. It's slightly shorter, but that's like a hairline amount shorter. I'm pretty sure they said it's shorter and wider. I don't really see that. I mean, I see like a slight difference, but I also feel like it's because of the edges just being flat. Overall, I would say more or less they're the same size. We just get that slightly bigger front display because of the bezels. Now, both the external and the internal display did get higher peak brightness. So we are going to 2600 nits of peak outdoor brightness versus 1750 on the Z Fold 5, which is actually pretty bright. Obviously we're inside, so we're not gonna see that. In order to actually take full advantage of that peak brightness, you will have to have auto brightness enabled. And then once you go outside, sunny conditions, it will go ahead and brighten your screen. So inside, we're not gonna see a difference much. So again, I am just really impressed by this screen protector. I think that looks so nice, I can't get over it. And technically we do have a new hinge for the thinner design, so again, slightly thinner, and we now have an IP48 rating. So this basically means that it's not only water resistant, but it also can protect against particles. However, keep in mind that IP4 rating only protects against particles that are 1 millimeter in diameter or larger. So it's not completely dust tight. If you're going to the beach and you have like sand or anything like that, I would still be very careful with it. But it is a step up from the Z Fold 5, which has an IPX8 rating, so it has 0 dust protection. So I definitely think we're headed in the right direction with this, and maybe one day we'll see it completely dust resistant. But like I said, still be careful, but just know we are headed in the right direction. Okay, and of course, since it's a foldable, we do have a crease, but I will say it is a lot more shallow. It is a lot more shallow than the crease on the Z Fold 5. I'm actually kind of impressed on that, because I know they mentioned it, but I was like, come on guys, like there's still gonna be a crease. It's a foldable. I don't think we'll ever have a foldable out a noticeable crease. I don't know. I hope they surprise me on that in the future. But when you run your finger across, like, yes, you definitely feel it, but it's less prominent. I can feel it a lot more on the Z Fold 5, that's for sure. Now, on the Z Fold 5, I never found it annoying to the point where I couldn't enjoy content or anything like that. But definitely having less of a crease is a plus, that's for sure. I'm actually quite impressed. I thought they were gonna gaslight me on that one, if I'm being honest. And for the cameras, the specs for the cameras, both of these cameras are the same. They're unchanged. We have that 50 megapixel main camera, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 10 megapixel telephoto 3x zoom camera. Then on the front here, we have that 10 megapixel selfie camera. Then inside there is a 4 megapixel camera under the display. Never been the best quality. I personally would not use that, but it's handy if you want to make like video calls and things like that. But again, I wouldn't necessarily take photos using that one. If there are differences in picture quality, then that's going to be some software processing. I expect there to be some software processing differences, so I would anticipate better pictures coming out of the Z Fold 6 than the Z Fold 5, but hardware-wise, everything's the same. But here they are side by side. What do you think of the difference? Like, we have, obviously the difference in the corners, rounded corners versus the sharp. What do you think? I kind of like the aesthetics of the Z Fold 6, which is contradictory to everything that I've said about the S24 Ultra, because I don't fully love the S24 Ultra's sharp corners. Well, sometimes I love it, sometimes I don't. More often than not, I don't. But given this form factor, when you open it up, I mean, this is not your candy bar. This is not your average candy bar phone. So definitely gonna be a different vibe. I can kind of appreciate the corners in this sense that you may get more screen real estate, but it is gonna dig into your hands. Now, does it feel uncomfortable right now? No, it doesn't. I don't think it's gonna be a big deal. Only time will tell on that. But let's look at them side by side. Not too drastic of a change. What do you think? Regardless, like I said, I don't think much has changed from the Z Fold 5 to the 6. The only differences are going to be slight improvements. Is it worth upgrading if you have the Z Fold 5? No, I don't think so. The only reason I am is obviously I am a tech enthusiast and I enjoy making these videos for y'all. But as an average consumer, if I didn't have this channel, honestly, I probably would not have upgraded. I will be trading this one in, so I'll be sending it back to Samsung. They did offer me about $1,200 for a trade-in credit, which is great and all. You also have to consider the price tag on the Z Fold 6 is not a pretty one. I think it was like $18.99 starting. So by all means, it is not a cheap phone. I would say if you're new to foldables, you want to try it out. If you can get a good deal on a Z Fold 5, I would probably start there. But if you're still within that time frame where Samsung's offering great trade-in credits, I would take advantage of that because you're probably going to get a better deal on the Z Fold 6 than you would on the 5 based off of that trade-in promotion. I know with the pre-orders, Samsung gives you double the storage after the release date. Samsung normally still has some savings. They'll take away the double the storage, but they'll still kind of have those great trade-in offers. So it is something to look into for sure. But if you can buy maybe like a used one, refurbished, just to kind of get your feet wet if you're unsure if you want a fold, I would definitely go for the 5 given the price tag currently. Obviously, time over time, this is the 6th generation. It is more durable than the 1st generation, so we are looking at an upward trend as far as durability is concerned, but they're not going to be as durable as your slab phone like the S24 Ultra. So personally, if I just had one, would I take this over the S24 Ultra? No, I probably wouldn't. But that's just me. If you're okay with using this as your main device, and that's perfectly fine. That's your choice. Buy whatever makes you happy, what you can afford, and what you like. But of course, with all new Samsung phones, I always like to update the theme. So let's see if we can find a nice theme to go with my new pink phone. This will kind of vibe for now. Look at that, so cute. And unchanged like the Z Fold 5, we still have the fingerprint reader on the side, basically the power button. So we can test it out. It was always pretty fast on the Fold 5, so I don't anticipate any issues. I do like the placement of it. I prefer this versus the in-screen fingerprint reader like on the S24 series and basically all the other slab phones, just because it's more convenient, but that's just me. There we go, so that's working pretty nice. I love this color, really cute. But of course, Samsung offers a lot of different colors to choose from to find the best color that suits your style. And I almost forgot, I got this case. So here's the S Pen case. This is by no means a cheap case. I don't know why I keep buying it, but because don't forget that the inside screen can be used with the S Pen, which comes here. And if you want the S Pen, I think you can buy the S Pen separately, but basically you have to buy the case in order to use the S Pen, or basically to house the S Pen, because it doesn't have internal housing like it does on the S24 Ultra. I obviously like the pink color. I don't like that they gave me a yellow S Pen, but whatever. So this is handy, but this is what this case looks like. This case retails for like $90. So it is crazy expensive. I guess that's their way of selling the S Pen. I had this case for the Z Fold 5 as well. I like this color better. Can I just put this here? I mean, technically, but that doesn't match. What do you think? Should I use last year's S Pen to go with this case, even though we have this yellow up here? The pink and the coral don't really vibe as much, I guess. I don't know, let me know. What should I do? Or should I just stick with the yellow one that came with this case? It's kind of like, it's yellow, green, I don't know. What do you think? But there we have it. Here is the Z Fold 6. Not much has changed, but I do appreciate the subtle improvements that they are willing to make year over year. So let me know what you think about the Z Fold series as a whole. Do you have a foldable? Will you be upgrading? Are you purchasing one for the first time? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. And if you liked this video, please hit that like button and subscribe for more tech-related content and reviews. But until next time, stay tech savvy, and I'll see you in the next one.